Growing up, my brother and I were always outside biking, fishing, exploring until all hours of the summer. And when the winter came, we'd ice skate and we'd sled and we'd play hockey. We were always outside. But some of my fondest memories of the outdoors were camping and the camping trips with my uncle. And he had this big red Ford pickup truck. And man, that truck was a workhorse. It was crazy. I always wanted that truck, but I couldn't get my hands on it. But no matter how much gear we stuffed into that truck, it was amazing. The roads were muddy, it was loaded, and it would always get us camping safe. And those were I'd always look forward to those camping trips with my uncle. And it got us there safe and sound. And since I think those times, I've always had a love for pickup trucks and the style of kind of go anywhere and do anything. And much like that truck, I guess, I became a scrappy, hardworking, kind of get the job done kind of guy. My first job was I'll never forget this. My first job was a paper route when I was 12. And that's when I think that's when I learned that I love business. I remember I had to upsell my customers magazine subscriptions so that I could double my money. I would turn this paper route into a good little business. And I was hooked. I was hooked in business then. So I wanted to learn more about business. I graduated from high school a year early, and I used the money I'd saved from selling magazines and papers to pay for the tuition for a couple of years. And that brought me to university. And university gave me the fundamentals of business. But I was anxious. I was anxious to kind of get out there and do my own thing. I was always on my own 2 feet. So just after 2 years of university, I decided to leave university for the time and start my business. And those early years of my business, I'll never forget. They were a grind, but I learned so much more about running a business than I ever could have from any textbook. I learned a lot of life lessons in those years. So with a solid 10 years of business behind me and under my belt, I guess I started really thinking about trucks from a business perspective at that time. And I noticed that trucks kept evolving and getting better. Like I remember the 2004 F-150 when it came out was there was lineups of those trucks everywhere around the corner. Everyone had them. They're the latest and greatest. The trucks got better, but the products that the truck owners were putting on their trucks, they were stagnating. They were the same. And there was nothing new or innovative to complement all those trucks. So it was with that insight that I founded Worksport, and I wanted to take everything that I learned from all my years of business, really, and my love for trucks, kind of pair them together and bring innovation to the truck market. But I also had a drive to do good for the world. So I grew Worksport, I think, from nothing by creating products that were innovative and affordable for truck owners. You see, I not only understood business, but I understood what pickup truck owners wanted and what they really, what they needed. And the first thing that they wanted was a tonneau cover that complemented and enhanced the truck to fit their life. So my father was also a big influence on me, and he always said, we don't inherit the world from our ancestors, but we're borrowing it from our children. And that meant a lot to me. That kind of stuck with me during my times. And it was one of those many late nights at Worksport headquarters that I realized that tonneau covers were kind of like a big blank slate for us to kind of create something different. And in that aha moment is when we founded Terravis, the Solus tonneau cover and the battery system. We wanted to make the surface a tonneau cover that could generate power using solar. And we combined all of the gear together and we founded Terravis Energy. And it really, I think it'll mean a lot for people through the years. And I think it'll be legacy and history in the making during our generation. So we're really excited about that product. So yeah, I guess that's a good story of how I started and kind of where I came from. And I've always had that thirst and knack to do something on my own and build something special. Yeah, so that's basically, our story, or my story of how I found it. And I think that I'd love to just, I guess, give an opportunity, give an update, if I could, of kind of what's been going on behind the scenes with Worksport as we get, close to the end of the year. So some of the most important things was to iterate that 2021 shook out exactly as planned. The revenues were not a surprise to us. It was part of the larger plan to completely change how we manufacture and sell our products as we move into 2022 and further into the future. Another point is that even though we weren't focused on selling, we were focused on building a solid customer base, and our flow of inbound customer interest from some of the biggest brands in the world is outstanding, and we have a lot of runway there for customers. We've doubled or tripled our customer base since 2021, and we're prepared to begin servicing those accounts in 2022 as we build out our fully automated Made in Canada factory. And this Made in Canada factory is going to be the footprint from which we build our much larger Made in the USA factory into the future. And we're kind of looking at what states would be best suitable for us. But there's a lot of strategy going on behind the scenes. We raised about $30 million, and we raised it to deploy it on several aspects. And we've deployed that capital just as advertised. We're deploying for inventory, and since summer 2021, we've been focused on upscaling production in our made in China goods. And we believe that money was the only thing needed to upscale to the levels to get to the next stages. But we learned that with COVID and the logistical supply chain issues that the whole world's facing, we learned that we would face challenges that many others are. So we've been deploying capital in our new sales channels that are heavily focused on business to consumer direct, and a direction that B2C direction is not something we've done before, but something we're really, really excited to grow into. And the B2C channels really grow our margins from like a 25 to 30% to 50, 70, and even 100% margin. So I think we're building foundational steps for the success of our investors, and that'll make us even more investable. We're also setting up our own Worksport.com e-commerce platform. It's going to be state of the art. We're looking to launch that early next year to be able to facilitate those B2C sales. And we're deploying capital in marketing our products so that we have a shareholder and a product customer in one. So we're going to encourage customers to buy a product, to become a customer for life, and then to buy a share, and then become a shareholder for life. So that's really going to continue to bolster our plan for 2022 to build that kind of growth. We plan on having this marketing and e-commerce engine in full swing, full operation early 2022. And the TerraV system, wow, it's amazing what we're doing. We're looking at leading literally the state of the art in terms of the technology for these battery systems. It's going to blow all other battery systems out of the water that are comparable. We're going to be able to make more power, more efficient, and smaller so that people can carry it and do more things with our battery system. So it'll be more meaningful for the disaster relief situation or the emergency relief situation that we intend to be the power behind. Onshoring our factories, like I just talked about, into the Canadian Made in Canada manufacturing is by far where we spent the most capital at this point in 2021. We purchased all kinds of equipment. We're receiving new equipment daily, and we're anticipating purchases of other key pieces of equipment that are going to at least almost fully automate, or at least de-skill for the majority of our production to allow us to compete with Made in China product. Our pre-order campaign's going strong. We're starting to turn up the marketing engine for that. So we intend to give some updates on the numbers of pre-orders we've had, but we're getting up there in terms of pre-order volumes, and we still do expect to be able to get into tens of millions of dollars of pre-orders before the product launches next year into 2021. Into early 2022. The systems ordered should all be in the factory on the TerraV side January to mid-February, and by Q2 2022, we'll be fully up and running on the factory side here as a Made in Canada product, with again the intention of being made in America. We're also building our B2B relationships, which are solid, and we have some amazing, huge brands that are reaching out to us for our TerraV systems, our tonneau cover systems, and our core battery systems. And we have some huge updates coming from our TerraV Energy division. I can't talk a lot about those, but once the market and once you guys in the market kind of see what we've been working on behind closed doors, we'll show that we really are going to be tomorrow's next big thing in terms of creating more meaningful power for places and people that need them. So that's generally our updates that we have to close out 2021. So if any investors are new to Worksport, I didn't want to take this opportunity to run through our investor presentation that we've run through so many times before. So you can visit worksport.com under our investor section or investworksport.com to see our company presentation so you can learn about Worksport and what we are. You can also follow us on all of our social medias. It's usually at Worksport Ltd on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. I think TikTok's coming soon. And you can shoot us an email within Worksport as well to visit, with any questions that you might have. We're going to continue to update shareholders with press releases, and there's going to be a constant stream of news flow and kind of cool milestones that we're looking to meet. But I appreciate Squire for inviting us. I wanted to thank Squire for inviting us to present here today at the Clean Tech EV conference. And we didn't want to run through our investor presentation as we run through so many times before. So we did want to at least give updates and shed a little bit of light on kind of who I am and what the direction and vision is behind Worksport. So we appreciate everyone for stopping by and listening. And we're just a click or a call away if you have any questions. Thank you very much.